Hi, in this video, we will be going over building a dashboard of the top sports earners from 1990 to 2020. This is kind of the output that we're looking to create in terms of building a dashboard. So if you look at this from left to right, on the left-hand side, you have some splicers. In the middle, you have a bunch of boxes here with charts that really go into some of the top earning sports players over the past couple of years. Now, the data that we use over here is basically Forbes Richest Athletes data from Forbes. And the columns over here are serial number, name, nationality, current ranking, previous year rank, sport that they play, the year, the earnings in millions of dollars, and that's it. So without further ado, let's get started on building this dashboard. Now, what we have here is basically data that we went over in terms of the columns. What we want to do is to sort of rearrange the data or clean the data such that we can use it. So in this case, what I'm going to do is remove the serial number associated with that player because we don't need that. We have the name, we have the nationality, we have the current year rank, and I'm not going to use the previous year rank, so I'm going to remove that as well. The sport, the year, and the earnings in millions of dollars. What I'm going to do is rename this sheet of as data. And what we're trying to build over here are certain points. So one is we're trying to build the top earners in millions of dollars over the past years. Two is we're trying to build a trend chart of overall sports. The third is we're trying to understand top earners by sports. And then lastly, we're trying to build is top earners by salary. I apologize, by nationality. All right. So now that we know what we want to build, let's rename this sheet to say README so I can refer back to this sheet as we start building the dashboard. You move that over here and then you have the data. The next thing we want to do is create a tab or dashboard, and this is what I'll use to build out my dashboard as we move along. And the next sheet that we want to create is a sheet of pivot table. For those that are not familiar with pivot tables, I'll provide a link below on what pivot tables are. There are a couple of videos out there on YouTube that you can use to understand how to build pivot tables. Now, in order to kind of create the dashboard, what I want to do is segment out the dashboard so we know exactly how to build one. So the first thing I want to do here is to remove the grid lines associated with the dashboard. So over here under view, there's a couple of options over here. So I want to uncheck the grid line. And what that will do is it'll create a blank sheet over here in terms of the dashboard. So the next thing that I want to do is to insert a shape. So go to Insert, Illustrations, and insert a rectangle. So in this case, it's going to insert a rectangle over here. And this will be our sort of base line or base board, if you will, for the dashboard. And we'll keep layering shapes on top of this. Now, the next thing that I want to do is to create another sort of shape over here. And then that will be our heading. So then what I want to do is to format this shape. So I want to have a background of maybe that color. So in order to change the background color, what I'll do is go to Shape Format and look for the Shape Fill button over here, and then click on any sort of shape fill that you want to fill this out with. And then what I want to do is to change the text fill color, and maybe I select black. And then let's enter a dashboard. So maybe the title would be Top Sports Players Earnings from 1990. Let's go back to our data. Let's see where the data ends. So let's go to View. All right, so let's go to Data, View, Filter. And let's check the last date here. So this runs from 1990 to 2020. So let's go back to our dashboard and label that as from 1990 to 2020. Let's center this and increase the font size. Minimize this. All right. And make sure that it is, there you go. All right, so now that we have our heading, the next thing would be to sort of block out sections that we want to see the charts in, or the splicers. So let's go over here and introduce some shapes. So what I want to do is to pick up more of a rounded shape over here for the rectangles. So this is one. And what I want to do is really take that same format and put that in here. So this is sort of a shortcut to just sort of adjusting or creating similar sort of formatted shapes within Excel. So it's less time consuming. Let's go here. What we also could do is just copy and paste this over here. And then do the similar for the bottom one. Over here. What I want to do is extend that box over here that's behind so that it fits these boxes over here and make these aligned over here. Now what you could do is you could also align these by adjusting these numbers over here as well. But I have a rough sense of how I want to view the data. And then over here on the left hand side is where I want to introduce the splicer. So I want to sort of set up a placeholder for that section. All right, so similar sort of adjustment over here. What I'm going to do is adjust that there and then scroll down. All right, so now that we have our placeholders in place, in the next video, what I want to show you is how to sort of build those data charts that we've outlined over here for requirements and put that in the dashboard by building the pivot tables. Until next time, see you then. Thank you for your interest in the BA Knowledge Share. If you do like what you see, please do consider subscribing, as well as do hit the bell icon for receiving any updated videos, as well as going to our website, baknowledgeshare.com, as well as visiting our Facebook page. The link will be provided below. Thank you so much for watching.